Good afternoon. This is a topic that has become very close to my heart since I have been learning how to heal. And it's something that I never considered would even come into a healing journey for me or anybody. And it's not something that anybody even really discusses. So it's about balancing your masculine and feminine energy. And why is that important to us? So as growing up, I was always a very masculine, energy driven girl, like a tomboy, very much into sport, 100 mile an hour, strong, focused, controlling, all those things, and very much lived in my masculine energy. Masculine energy is like, yeah, competitive and loves a challenge and makes big things small and, very assertive and out there. And the feminine energy is the nurturing, which I have always been very nurturing. That's why I became a preschool teacher. But they seek love and they want to fill up people's cup and talk, and they're very emotionally driven. And me sitting in the masculine energy and not diving into that feminine energy was very much like a volcano for me. So it wasn't until I got asked to join a women's circle by my good friend Lana F. Jackson. You've met her in this group before. We've done some chats. And so I joined this women's circle and I didn't even, like, there was a lot of women who were very feminine. They shared a lot of their feminine energy and I didn't even understand what they were talking about. I just knew that these women were beautiful. They were very supportive and non-judgmental, but their language, their energy, I had no idea what it was all about. So it actually taught me, like, being around these women taught me how to dive into that feminine energy a lot more. And what it did for me was actually sort of calm and bring me down a few levels instead of being like rah all the time. And I still am a little rah, but it kind of got me more balance, that yin and yang in my life. Instead of being all the way up here and the feminine energy all the way down here, I had more balance, more peace, inner peace. I learned about chakras and things like that I'd never even considered in my life before, and a lot about energy and things like that are not spoken about enough. When we talk about our body, we are not just a physical body, we are energetic beings. So learning about energy and how we can balance all of that is super important. So I'm going to have a guest speaker come on here who loves talking about energy, and we're going to bring her on another day to talk about balancing, masculine and feminine, and how important it is to healing our body and learning, that the physical healing is not the only thing we should be doing, because that was my focus. And that's a very masculine driven energy. If you're just focusing on healing your physical body. Yeah, we all talk about what we eat and what medication we might take and how we can, physically support our body. And it is really important. But we also need to emotionally, energetically, mentally support our body. And that's where the feminine energy comes in and helps support that healing. So it is something that, go and do a little bit of work around the emotional healing and have a look at, just Google masculine and feminine energy and start to, hang a little bit or talk to some of the women that have that feminine power and energy around them, because a lot of my friends were very much in the masculine. My mum, my dad, my brother, we all were very masculine driven sort of people. And once I started diving into that feminine side a lot more, it created a lot more ease in my body, and I was able to heal that energetic vibe in my body. So it really, it's a real important thing for me. So I've really learned a lot from this women's circle that I've been in. And if you know of anybody that has women's circles that you've been invited to, it's what women traditionally are born to do, is to gather together and nurture and heal. Because, you know, if you look back over tribal sort of communities, the women are the healers of the village or the community or tribe or whatever it is. People go to the women to, like, even your mum, you know, when you were sick, when you were little, she'd give you chicken soup or lemon honey. Or women are the nurturers and the healers, and they use their intuition a lot. So, you know, when your children are sick, and you just know that there's something wrong, and you go to the doctor and they're like, no, I can't find anything, but you're with that child and you know there's something wrong. You know, what we've lost a lot of that by, you know, giving our power to the medical system. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with the medical system, you know, allowing them to treat you. But at the same time, we do need to dive back into that intuition and learning how to feel what's wrong with us. So if we're going to doctors and they're saying, your bloods are fine, your medication levels are fine, don't worry about it, but you know there's something wrong, that is your intuition telling you, no, I'm not good. Keep going and finding somebody or some information that can help you get further to where you need to be, because we don't need to put all our trust into one other person. Because I know there are people who, you know, go to the same doctor, you know, like older people, like my nan used to go to the same doctor year after year after year. And sometimes, you know, we need a second opinion, or we need someone who's going to actually feel into what's wrong with us. And if you know there's something wrong, don't let anybody tell you that your instincts are wrong, because you know yourself, you live with yourself, you feel, you sense. So, you know, dive into that feminine energy in your body, and that is what's going to help you heal. Listening to the feminine energy, listening to the nurturing side, your intuition, your gut feeling. That, you know, when you're researching information or educating yourself about your health, sometimes, you know, something's going, you know, go down this path, follow that path. It may not get you to where you want to go, but it's taught you something. So I had the same thing. Like, I went down many paths that didn't help my healing at all, but it always taught me something. So when your body is going this direction, or your intuition is going, go down this direction, go down there, because you're going to learn something from it. You might learn, hey, that's really bad for me. Or you might learn, you know, it might not help you, but you've learned something about it. But it could also be something that changes your life. I know when my friend introduced me to the activation, as soon as she told me about it, I was like, I need this. Like, it was screaming at me to take it. And somebody else had introduced me to a different product, and I was nearly going to dive into that product, but I just didn't. And I was introduced to that one first, and I just didn't go down that path because something was stopping me. And then about a week later, my friend introduced me to the activation, and within, you know, minutes, I'm saying, how do I order? Like, it was screaming at me. And you know what? Within 3 months, I couldn't believe the difference in me. And my friends and family that know me are like, how on earth did that one thing change your vitality, your symptoms, your body? But it was me listening to that little voice inside me going, take it on, take it on. And it was saying to me, you're going to be able to help other people with this. And I have. So that is a super important voice to listen to. And sometimes when we're sick, you're not listening to it because you're so sick, you're clouded, your mind, your body, your soul isn't working in harmony with each other. But sometimes you just get that little voice and that you really need to start listening to. So dive in and start listening to it, because this is where it's going to help you go down the right path and learn so much. And health is about education. It's not about going to a different group of people and just saying, these are my symptoms, help me. You need to learn about yourself, and you need to learn everything you can about the body and how it works and what's going on in your body. And that is the feminine energy. So balance of masculine and feminine. Your masculine is going to give you the strength to keep going and that drive to keep wanting to heal, and the The feminine is the intuition and the nurturing. So when we're balanced, we can really start to get our body where it needs to be. And since I balance that a lot more, I'm a lot more in my feminine energy. I still am a very masculine woman energetically, but you know, I'm still learning, and I'm always learning on this healing journey, but that is coming up, and it's definitely made a difference in my life. So I hope some of this information has really hit home with you. Please drop a comment down below. Have you heard of balancing your masculine and feminine energy? You know, give me a little wave if you understand what I'm talking about, or you want to know more. Like, write in the comments, I want to learn more. Ask any questions. I'd love to help you, because it's something that has become very important to me, and I will do a lot more of this because I feel like this is where we sort of need to go a little bit more. So let me know what you're thinking, and yeah, I hope that I have given you some little bit of direction with this little video.